Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Energy Quick Chat, where we rub minds with stakeholders and players in the energy market. Nigeria's Dangote Refinery, touted as the world's single train facility, is a game changer, not just for Nigeria's energy sector, but for the entire continent. With a projected revenue of $25 billion annually, it has the potential to significantly impact fuel prices, government revenue, and regional collaboration. However, with recent announcements about public listing by year end and the start of domestic fuel sales next month, there are also questions to be addressed. To unpack these questions and dive deeper into the refinery's latest developments, I'm thrilled to introduce my guest, Mr. Joseph Nwakwue, oil and gas professional and partner at Zera Advisory and Consulting. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe.
Thank you for having me.
Now, a couple of discoveries have been made since that recent media briefing by Aliko Dangote himself. But I was just wondering, the refinery plans to list on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 2025. How might this listing impact the overall transparency of fuel prices in Nigeria?
Well, in terms of price discovery, it might not impact it greatly. But I will say this, the refinery has been built with a significant amount of debt. So I imagine that coming to the market is Dangote Refinery's way of kind of restructuring their capital to include significant amount of equity. So I understand that he already has significant equity, but there's a lot of debt. So he's trying to change his capital structure a little bit. And so it might have two implications. One is it will reduce the pressure on him. I mean, generally speaking, debt is more expensive than equity. So the pressure on the managers of the refinery to do well will be much reduced if he has a diversified shareholding. And then, of course, reduces the amount of debt in their book. So I suspect that what they are trying to do here is to restructure their capital, reduce the pressure on the management, and will that have direct implication on pricing of the commodity itself? I would say it will have very minimal implication because the owners of equity will equally require some returns on investment.
Right. Now, you mentioned something very significant, and that's the significant amount of equity that this would pull in as well. Now, how much of the projected $25 billion revenue will translate to tax revenue for Nigeria?
Okay, so the 25, this revenue is refinery revenue, you mean? Remember that refinery is in a tax-free zone. So if I understand your question, is how much taxes will this refinery bring to the government?
Yeah, right.
I will say, so it's, we have to think about it this way. The Dangote Refinery is in Lekki-free zone. That's an export processing-free zone. So it will not have, it's not subject to local taxes. It's not subject to both federal, state, and local government taxes. So it will not pull in directly a lot of tax. Okay, but there might be some other indirect benefits because it's in a place where importation of inputs, machinery into that refinery is duty free, right? So government doesn't get any custom duties and all that from doing that. Government does not tax it directly, whether it's it or any other tax, they are exempt. So the implication for the taxman is that it's almost like you have a foreign refinery on your soil. So you're not going to be able to tax it directly.
Tax them. Now, that revelation about NNPC's stake being reduced to about 7% or 7.2%. Will the reduction in the stake make the refinery more susceptible to price pressures from the global oil markets?
The reduction in the equity by NNPC, I think, is a realistic position they took. They just didn't have the resources to pay the difference. Uh, so will it have implications for the entity itself? My sense is that they are coming to the market. So whatever the NNPC held, they will probably sell it to you and I, right? So that will not be a problem. So will it have implications for their ability to complete the project? Those are the real questions. I think they're almost there, so it might not impact their ability to stream PMS and all that. So I don't think it's overall. I think the 7.5% is better than nothing, if you ask me, or 7.2% that NNPC is keeping is still better than not having any stake at all. But I would have wished that NNPC was able to maintain the 20% that they had initially.
Now, just on Wednesday, the management of Dangote Industries Limited accused international oil companies of frustrating its refinery operations. What are your thoughts on this? Looking at this and other operational challenges that might creep in, what are your thoughts on the targeted timeline of August for domestic sales?
Well, I think that given what they're dealing with, I think they've done a pretty good job so far commissioning the plant. So this is all part of the commissioning process. So do I expect that they will come in? I hope they do. It might slip, but I hope not by much. So generally speaking, these are all technical issues now. Now, in terms of feedstock, which is the point that was made about the IOCs, my sense is that this is a commercial issue. I think, and I've said in another forum that it's not something for the I wish they didn't come to the public with that. It's the PIA, which is the law of the land, prescribes a commercial willing buyer, willing seller basis for this kind of transaction. Indeed, that is for domestic refineries. And I had said that the Dangote Refinery, by definition, is not a domestic refinery. So my sense is that it's something that Dangote has to decide where he gets his crude from. It's not. I don't think the IOCs should be pillared for whatever. I think he needs to sit down with them and negotiate good terms, overseen by the regulator. The regulator has an important role to play in ensuring that these commercial transactions, for what is worth, are carried out without anybody getting the short end of the stick.
Right, and I think the head of the management also lauded the NUPRC for the interventions they have put out there so far, and hopefully something is done about these issues without bringing it out to the public. Now, how will sourcing crude oil from other African countries impact the overall refining efficiency and output stability at the Dangote Refinery?
I don't think it's a problem. I think that, think about this. You have a 650,000 barrel a day refinery. That's a huge volume. I never for one day imagined that all of that volume would be sourced from Nigeria. It's almost, especially where we are today. If we were doing 3 million barrels a day, maybe, but where we are today, I think it makes sense to expect that they will have to source for products from far and wide. Maybe not even Africa. They might have to go to South America. They might have to go to wherever they can find relatively well-priced crude. Let me not use the word cheap, to feed the plant so that they can maximize their margin. The gross refining margin is their primary objective function. They have to maximize it. So if going to the end of the world to get crude is what will guarantee that you maximize your gross refining margin, so be it. It does not have to be Nigerian crude. If they get cheap Nigerian crude, great. But I think that given where he is, even if we gave him all that we produce today, I don't think we'll be able to fill the plant if you net out all the committed volumes. So we simply don't have enough crude to give him to fill the plant. So whatever we give him, he has to go out to augment. So I think it's not a big issue. I think um, he will figure it out. It's all transactional and commercial in nature.
Yeah, right. And he already gave his, he already asserted that other African countries are in the loop on, and talks are ongoing on how to get them into this buying model where they can source from other African countries as well. And hopefully that pans out by the end, before the end of this year, instead of, especially regarding the AFCFTA agreement. This is all in the box, and we should learn to how to patronize one another. Now, looking at all of these developments in the Nigerian oil and gas market, what's your outlook for the remainder of the year?
Yeah, my outlook is I hope that the PMS production and delivery to the market will commence as they promised in August. That will help diversify the supply side for the local market. And it equally helps with, like you mentioned, assessing Nigeria will become a net exporter of refined products. And with the Continental Free Trade Agreement and all that, I think we stand in a very poor position to take advantage, basically to displace imports from Europe, which is very important. So that has significant implications for our economy. So I think it's positive from the refining side. However, I am a bit concerned about the upstream. Things are ticking up gradually, but I think we can move faster. I think 1.25 million barrel a day is not good enough. I think NNPC needs to ramp up efforts to raise capital, because at the heart of this is lack of funds. So they need to raise money to invest, to increase the output. I think that it's possible in the near term that we can get back to 1.7, 1.8, and that will really ease the pressure on the Naira. So that's very important for our economy as well. So I think that the role that the industry plays in the overall economy is huge, and we need to pay attention to issues like that to ensure that not just the forex, overall health of the industry is guaranteed. It's very, very critical that we do that. So looking forward, I think that a few things are going in the right direction. I think we just need to ramp up, speed up, press the pedal harder, and hopefully things will turn around.
Right. While we look forward to pressing that pedal, ramping up production as much as possible. Thank you so much for sharing those insights with us here on Energy Frontiers. Joseph Nwakwue, oil and gas professional and partner at Zera Advisory and Consulting. Yeah, and that's it on our Energy Quick Chat. Thank you everyone for taking time to watch. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe to see more videos like this, and follow Frontier Africa Reports across all our social media handles. I am Justina Okechukwu. Bye for now.